Okay.
Hello.
We just
Now I'm live.
this can go. Now we are here with see you. Yes. Oh, you starting off with my favorite story. Hi, Preet.
Hello, everybody. It's Rippin and I, and we're gonna do more discussing of Reddit stories. Hope
We're
everybody's having a good
do a
time.
little shout out.
Oh yeah, we should shout out. Um,
So,
yeah, so I'm streaming with Rippin Kitten, the
and
newscast.
I'm streaming with See You the Bear.
Yay! How are you, Q10? Welcome to the stream. This won't be quite a newscast. This will be more of a talk show, I would say. But if you've got enough points, I can tell the news. I'll give an impromptu news presentation. So what we're doing is we're going to discuss some Reddit posts that people have put in, and we're going to give our 2 cents once we've done a little bit of a dissection on it. Usually, most of the posts are going to be from this subreddit called AITA, which is Am I the A hole?
ITA.
Yeah. So people they submit some their personal stories and they ask, "Am I the a hole?" So and then we decide. Isn't that going to
Yeah.
be fun?
It's the best.
It's the best. So Ripin, I think you said something significant and major happened to you today, just before the stream.
Today?
Yeah, you
Uh,
you tried
Yesterday.
something. Oh, yesterday.
Yeah. I ate meat, I ate sausage.
She's a vegan, by the way. She ate sausage,
Yes.
not vegan sausage, right?
No, no, vegan sausage, like real meat. Um, yeah, I got advice to like try it maybe not every day of the week, but like to gain some strength because I'm already on a very restricted diet for a stomach illness, and I've been going through some health issues, and I've been getting a bit weak. So yeah, um, but yeah, and it wasn't bad. I have to admit, it was good. It was good sausage.
Oh, so do you think you'll continue with the meat eating now in the future, or is that was that just a once off then?
I don't know. I mean, I feel weird. I feel like a fake vegan now. I've been vegan for so long,
Mm-hmm.
but then on the other hand, I also want to like get enough nutrients in my body, and I have to make sure that I'm physically able to handle certain things. So yeah, I think that's more important than the sake of being vegan. Does that sound okay? I don't know.
I think it really depends on why you're vegan. Um, you did it for like health
Oh, for
reasons, right?
yes, yes. Well, mainly I did it for comfort because I have an illness called gastroparesis, which restricts a lot of foods for me. And I had to follow a very strict diet. And every time I went to a restaurant or when I was on a plane or where I needed to eat something out, it was like a complete hassle to um, to get a meal. And I was like, at some point, I was like, I'm just gonna say I'm vegan and I can't have anything cold or raw. So that's how I went about my day. But I also am not allowed to eat certain vegetables like coals or very beans and stuff, which usually is where vegans get their protein from. So then for to compensate with that, I took a lot of vitamins to get the right nutrients, but it's not ideal. So, because when you're vegan and you can't eat raw fruits or vegetables, you're getting very restricted.
That is very
Um,
very limited. Yeah, absolutely.
and I was, I was, I am, I'm was getting a bit weak. I mean, getting COVID 3 times and then everything else, and then my doctor was like, maybe you should consider having a meat intake. Maybe not every time of the week, but maybe 2 or 3 times. And I was like, okay. Because I
Okay.
do care a lot about animals, and I do still think that like there could be better ways to keep them before slaughter, and that there is like mass overproduction and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So welcome in, David Drums. I feel a little bit uncomfortable by the licking, but that's all right. It's okay
That's
if you do it.
yeah.
Welcome in. We've got Q10. She's saying she's a little tired. Not enough sleep. Meeting call and big brain usage. Oh, that doesn't sound good. But hope you're getting some rest.
Ooh.
Yeah, you heard Rippin's change in her life. For me, it's been really hot in Australia. I'm like burning up. It's so hot and humid. Um, it's starting to cool down at night though, but even now it's like super sticky. Um, I don't know what to do. Need to turn the AC on. All right, so we're gonna do some Reddit stories. Uh,
Yeah.
so I think this one is mine. This was mine from last week, but
This is yours.
we
Yeah.
didn't get to do it. So um, I'm
I
gonna.
I really really like it, so I want to know about it.
So the story reads: How do I get my cat to stop hating me? I recently married. I recently married a lovely woman, but her cat of 11 years hates me. I tried all the normal things like giving it space, feeding, waiting for it to come to me, etc. Now, here's what I need help with. The cat demands a nightly 2 a.m. treat. I sleep in a separate room from my wife, and the cat comes in and swats me with nails until I get up and give it treats at 2 a.m. The cat does not and will not bother my wife for this. I've tried ignoring the cat and giving it regular food instead, but the cat will escalate to the point of swatting my face until I get up and give it treats. The
Oh
room
my god.
The room I'm in doesn't have a door, so I can't lock it out, and I can't even pet the cat, much less pick it up without causing massive destruction to my body and general premises. My cat loves no, my wife loves this cat more than anything else in the world, including this guy probably. She brought it with her from Japan. She and the cat have this beautiful, caring, and well Instagrammed life together, but does not include the guy.
Oh my god.
For me, my hands are constantly bloody. I haven't slept through the night in months. How do I keep living with this cat? Well,
I have so many questions right now.
all right.
First of all, why isn't he sleeping in the same room with his wife?
Do you think he'll get protection if if they're in the same room?
I'm thinking the cat doesn't let him sleep there or something. The cat
Yeah,
is
actually,
dominating
that's
their
likely.
marriage.
Yeah, yeah. They're probably like, um, yeah. The cat's like in the other side of the bed, and if he tries to get in,
Okay,
the cat's like,
sorry. I love cats, but this cat, nuh-uh.
no.
What? And demands a nightly 2 a.m. treat, and only from him? No, 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 no. This cat is like freakily smart
Hmm.
because he's a manipulative little demon. Two, he's like your wife's furry lover.
True. It's
He's
so
having
true.
like a relationship with the cat, and the cat is not letting you near her.
I
The
think
cat is probably thinking that he is her husband, and that the guy is like taking away his wife.
So I don't have a cat. Do you think cats could be that territorial and that smart? Would they
Yes.
would they get to the point where they're like, this is my, I'm gonna say human, but like
I have
basically husband,
three
essentially.
cats.
You had three
I have
cats.
three cats.
Mm.
Yes. One is exceptionally stupid to the point where he would run against things like boink. The other one is not very smart either, but they are brother and sister. Maybe it's a genetic thing. And then I have a new cat. Uh, he is a very smart. He's also very mischievous, and he has now found out, and I still haven't figured out how to open the back door. He also figured out how to get into the toilet, and he figures out like all these like how to open cabinets and steal food. He's a little minx, but I love him dearly because he's so cute. And then he looks at me with these big eyes, and I'm like, how could I be mad at you?
Well, so um, welcome in that Jamster dude. That Jamster dude's theory is that the wife knows all about this, and it used to demand it, and the cat used to demand it from her every night at 2 a.m.
Oh,
And now she's happy that
imagine
she's
that.
passed the torch. Wow.
Yeah,
So the
Preet
cat.
on my channel says, "What's the point on sleeping in different rooms?"
Well, I
It's
think,
a bit.
I mean, some partners they do that,
They
like,
do that.
yeah, and
That's
that's their
true.
thing, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, if it works, I mean, but it's also it's always a little surprising and like, what would be the reason? Because my grandparents slept separately for a very long time, and they were happily married, but it was because my grandpa snored terribly. Like I could when I stayed over, I could hear it until in my room. So I can imagine that if my grandma slept next to him, that she couldn't sleep at night. And then he got like like something done into his nose, and then he stopped snoring, and then they slept together in the same room again.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a perfectly reasonable situation, and everything worked out for them. So, yeah, that's good.
Oh my god! Preet on my channel says the cat is pretty old. He is in the age where an accident might happen to him. It is true.
So this person's basically looking for advice. I don't really have any advice for this except that, like, if
It's
I
the wife that needs to do something.
uh well,
'Cause she's the
unfortunately,
owner.
she is the owner. But we're looking at the perspective of the guy. So if I were the guy, I think that's probably unreasonable. Like, if I'm living in an environment where my hands are constantly bloody and I'm getting scratched in the face by the cat, um, I mean, I don't know if I could stay in that kind of relationship. That's pretty intense.
Same. Yeah. It's like the saying they say here in Belgium, he bought a cat in a bag. Is that something they say in Australia?
You'll have to
Buying a
explain
cat
that
in a
one to
bag?
me.
It's like getting something, but like, wait, how do I? Is there an equivalent of this? Wait,
There's the cat out of the bag, but I don't think that's the right one. You let the cat out of the bag.
uh, it's obtaining something that is uh easily broken or disappointing or like
Right, I see.
he
Yeah.
with gaining into this marriage, he's sort of like bought a cat in a bag, like literally a cat. But also I think, I mean, he has a right to sleep easily at night. She should have a door to his room at least. If he's, I mean, what the hell, this
Hmm.
is so unfair. He literally bought the cat in a bag.
It's too much, isn't it? And if she decides to keep the cat, which is also reasonable, um,
It's like the
yeah.
other Belgian saying, that plane doesn't go up. If you translate them, it sounds really weird.
So David Drum says you would lock the door to where he sleeps. Um, I feel
There's
like
no door.
yeah, and also
It said in the thingy.
I think also yeah the room that he's in doesn't have a door, so he can't lock it out. But also I feel like it's the guy's getting scratched during the day, like because the cat hates his guts.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Mm. Um, so do you have any final advice to give to this guy, Rippin?
Have a good sit down conversation with your wife about this situation because it can't go on. You are a person, her husband. You deserve to live in peace and scratch free in your own home and have a decent night of sleep. The cat is hers. She needs to deal with the 2 a.m. shit. If this was a baby, I would say something else. If this was a cat they had owned together, yeah, I would say differently otherwise. But this is her little demon of 11 years. Uh, she needs to take care of it.
Yeah, cat and human aren't the same. So yeah, if this was a human, then we're dealing with something a little different.
Yeah,
So who has a cat in chat? Are your cats well
I
behaved?
think David Drums have has cats.
He said he commented on the fact that you had three cats. Oh, he does have cats. I remember seeing a picture of one of his cats, right?
Oh no,
No,
he doesn't.
didn't you
I
send a
have no
picture of a cat,
cats.
David? I thought I saw one.
If I could gift a cat to David Drums, I would.
Yeah,
I attract cats.
Rippin is
I
a cat
have
herself.
very yeah. I've
Oh,
seen this
welcome.
bear before. Watch out, he might take a poop. Oh my god.
Cupid's been misbehaving in my Discord. He keeps sending out emotes where I'm taking a poopy. So
Hmm.
he's very fascinated by that, and I'm not exactly sure why. But thanks for the
That's
sub, Cupid. David Drum says his cat his cat has a friend. No, his friend has a cat, and they're all lovely. Oh, that's nice. Kittin says
Preet says,
recently married, but they sleep in different rooms. The cat makes more sense than the humans.
yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Preet
Yeah.
yeah, Preet also says the thing is that he does sleep in the other room and the room for some reason doesn't even have a door. He thinks it's suspicious.
Is he like a
maybe
prisoner?
Yeah, and the wife is like planning to let her cat kill him,
Well, we're
and then she can
progressing
gain
down
his
that
life insurance.
we're progressing down that line, so it's a slippery slope.
Nah, but I would be no, 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 no. Like I have cats, but they don't come into my bedroom.
All right, shall we go to the next one, Rippin?
Q10 says nothing wrong with the cat. Yeah, we could go to the next one.
All right, so this is your one, Rippin. So take it away.
Ah, oh, that jumpsuit dude just followed me. Thank you. Am I the a hole for telling my daughter she's too old to be sitting on my lap? I, 37 female, am married to my husband, 38 male, and we have a daughter together, 11 female. My daughter is very small for her age and as a result gets treated like a younger child sometimes. She loves to hop in my or my husband's lap and cuddle with us on the couch or in a chair. I have been thinking that she may be too old for that sort of thing, and maybe I'm hurting her by letting her continue. Yesterday she tried to hop in my lap and cuddle, and I told her she was too old for that and to get off me. She got really upset, got off me, and went to her room and slammed the door. She hasn't tried to get in my lap since then, and things are tense between us. She doesn't talk to me unless she has to, and when I hugged her goodnight last night, she didn't hug me back. I feel really guilty because I obviously hurt her feelings, but I feel like she might be too old for sitting on my lap. Am I the a hole?
Wow. Um, so 11 is quite old for that, isn't it? I mean, I would imagine.
What the hell's to you?
Is it?
No one is ever too old for this.
Sitting on a lap.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a parent here, so you know, you can say that I'm wrong here. I don't
I
really
mean,
have that
I
much
don't
investment.
care if my son is 18 years old and he's like, "Mom, I want a hug," and he jumps on my lap and hugs me. I don't. I mean, she's 11.
No, but like, I mean, a hug is one thing, but like we're talking about like sitting on the lap and getting a bounce, right?
Well, I mean, that's
Is
how.
that any different? I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just pick in my head that just seems a little young. I mean, a little old. But you know, I'm perfectly happy to be wrong about this. So you know.
Yeah. It says like cuddle with us or couch or chair. I'm like of the opinion you'll only have like a certain amount of time left to have that with your kid because I'm pretty sure that when she hits high school, this is not going to last. Unless she has like a really, really close connection to her parents, and then still I'm like, then have a conversation. It should still be okay for your kids to hug you as a you should be happy. She
Well,
wants to be close to you.
I'm just
I agree with Sam.
I'm
It's
just drawing a distinction between like cuddling and being on the lap. I think like there's in my head there was like a age where you know you're too old to be sitting on your parents' lap, but not for cuddles. So you know.
well, it said sit in lap and cuddle with us on chair or couch. So yesterday she tried to hop in my lap and cuddle. So it's like I see it like as a linked thing. She goes to get close,
Hmm.
not to just sit on the lap and be like a little kid. It's different.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how you read it. And hello, Sam. Welcome in. You think it's too harsh and sudden? Yeah. I mean, I you wouldn't snap at the kid because they're just trying to get affection. But
Yeah,
we're just saying. I when I read this, I did think that there was an age where you could be too old to sit on the lap as a child.
yeah. Um, I was laughing at the. Wait, is this better or is this too big? I'm just trying to find. No, I'm gonna leave it like that. I was laughing at Sam's snapped at my kid for using me as a towel this morning. Mom, I'm wet. Yeah, my son used me as a napkin for his spaghetti mouth a couple of days ago.
Wow. uh,
But yeah,
Kittin.
I wouldn't be like, um, you're too old for this. I wouldn't put it this way. I mean, this is very harsh.
Very harsh. Okay. Um, Kittin says maybe a thing she loves, but she's 11 and cuddles and things like that can be done in another way other than on the lap of the parents. Yeah, that's what I was initially thinking. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with hugging your child, even if they like doesn't matter what
Yeah.
age they are. But being on the lap, I think is in my head there was like an age limit where it becomes weird. I don't know what that age is, but yeah, but could you imagine like, you know, like a 35-year-old like son in the lap of a 50-year-old mother, right?
There's no, that's like weird.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a limit, right? Where it does become
Yeah.
weird. And is that age 11? I guess is the question.
Preet says, I don't have any kids, but I don't remember sitting at my parents' lap after being like 5 or 6 or so. I think, yeah, at some point kids stop doing that altogether.
And Sam's got a good point. If they both consent, then it's fine. I mean, I
Yeah,
just because I think it's
yeah,
weird and doesn't mean
but
that they think it's fine and if they're both happy to do it, then that's also fine.
if I were in that position, I would have said like, sweetheart, you're getting a bit too heavy to sit on mommy's lap as
Mm-hmm.
you're growing into a big girl. We can have hugs next to each other, or a hug like there's different ways of hugging, like Kittin says.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, what do you think overall? Am I the a-hole in this situation?
The way she took it on, yes.
Yes. Um, I think she didn't need to snap, but I'm also not sure if 11's like if that's the age where it gets weird to sit on the lap. Yeah,
I
Sam
don't think
shares
there's
similar to you. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit
yeah.
uncomfortable because you're getting too big. Yeah, 11-year-old kids are pretty big, right? That's
Well, she says this one is. I mean, when I
oh,
was
she says
11
she's a
years
little.
old,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she did
yeah,
say
and
she's
I
little.
was little too. When I was 11, I was like 142 centimeters. So that's basically the size of an 8-year-old. So, you know, I think it differs from situation to situation, but I wouldn't make such a fuss out of it. And at some point I would be like, you're getting a bit too big for this, or you're getting a bit like heavy on my lap. Just like, no, no, I do not want to hug you anymore. Get out of my sight, child.
Wow. That's a bit cold. So David says he's very much a physical touch kind of person when it comes to showing love towards others. Oh, David drums. Um, the cuddling thing seems a bit much, but hugs are forever. Yeah, hugs are forever. You can hug anybody. That's good. Q10 says a bit the way it was said. Yeah, she might be a little bit. Yeah, I think most of us agree that she kind of snapped a bit. Um, but that's separate to whether or not it's okay for it's age appropriate to have the kids sit on your lap.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so shall we go to the next one, Rippin? Unless you have any final
Yes.
thoughts. All right.
No.
Okay, here we go. Our next one. Uh, slept through my alarms on my first day of my new job. Um,
Ooh.
wait.
Alarm?
I think I like just captured the update. Maybe this will give enough information. They said, uh, okay,
No.
no. I'm gonna look up the original post. So sorry, it's not going to be on the screen, but uh, I don't think they even linked the original one. That's unfortunate.
Isn't it like under it? I recently was just hired for a new job position.
Yes, I think you're right. Um, okay. Oh,
Oh,
Hammy,
Hammy's rating!
Hammy, hello. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in. We're doing discussions on Reddit posts. Uh, yeah, get rated. I was on your stream for a while. Yeah, it was really fun. You got to get to work, David Drums. Oh, okay. It was
Hi,
nice to chat
Hammy!
with you, David Drums. Have a good work day. Hey, hello, Hammy. That explains why I was so silent. Actually, I didn't start the stream for very long. This is I was watching you guys play Overwatch. Hey yo. All right, so I'll just read the bottom bit and let's see if we get enough information. But if not, I don't think I can find the original. All right, it says this person says I was recently hired for a new job position, and I didn't hear my alarms go off this morning. I ended up waking up 30 minutes after I was supposed to be there. I tried to call a girl who hired me, and the phone went straight to voicemail, and her mailbox was full. My friend told me to go down to the job and explain what happened, and see if there's a chance I could still get a job with them. But I don't think it's worth it. I feel like I completely blew it, and I feel like just a complete failure and low key really crappy. How do I overcome this? Is it too late to try to contact them again? It's already 2 hours after I was supposed to be there, and yet yeah, he's gone on Reddit to to do a post.
Oh
I
no,
just
I'm
assumed the
late. What am
gender.
I going to do? I'll go on Reddit.
I go on Reddit and ask them what I'm meant to do. What do you
Good
think?
morning, Mama.
Hello, Mama. Good morning. Um, Hammy, you gotta check on the wife. Ah, okay, okay. No problem, no problem. Hope your wife's doing well. Thanks again for the raid. And are you having a good morning, Mama? So Rippin, new job vibes. Everybody's nervous and they don't know what it, and they're all uh everything's scary and new and fresh. What do you think about the? Have you had any new job nervousness before?
I yes.
Um, what
Um.
did you? Were you late for your first job?
Yes.
You were okay. Was this you? You
Well, I
actually
have.
you were looking for a job recently. Maybe this is you.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have a bad habit of being late
hmm
for things, for everything. Like my friends know that if they want to meet me, they have to tell like a half an hour in advance the time to me instead of the hour they actually want to meet. So I would be on time.
Wow.
Um, I've never been late on a first day, but I have been late on the job.
Mm, yeah.
But I wouldn't like be like, "Oh, it's I blew it. I'm not gonna go anymore." I mean,
That's a
no,
very
anything
extreme
could happen.
attitude. Like if you don't turn up, that's grounds for getting dismissal. I can tell. I can say from the perspective of someone who's was probably on the other side of the fence. I've seen a lot of people come into the workplace, and I was either their mentor or like the hiring guy.
Mhm.
And like if somebody's like uh, uh like in the profession that I was in, people come in at various times. So they might come
Mhm.
in at 10 p.m. Not 10 p.m. 10 a.m. or even later. That was
Mhm.
generally like what the people were like. But
Yeah.
if it's your first day and you feel like you are late, um, like we wouldn't have any issue with that, especially if you said, "Oh, I'm running late because of any reason," and if you just slept
Yeah.
in, that's perfectly fine. Not coming in is, however, that's grounds for
Not
for
okay.
for not being okay at all. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely say what happened. Yeah, just keep them in the loop, and then you'll be fine. I think.
Mhm. I agree.
Um,
I'm when I'm late, I just arrive.
yeah, that's it. So
No explanation. I just slide in.
you just slide in. You know, Rippin comes in
Yeah.
when she's here, and that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, the thing is like um we never really expect anybody to be in at a certain time unless there's something actually happening. So if there's like an important meeting or if clients are coming, like then it's actually important. But that wouldn't happen on your first day of a job. Like you can't expect anybody to do any of those things at that time.
Mhm.
So
True.
um yeah, I wouldn't worry about it at all. Um so Q10 says, yeah, just get your butt ready into work, explain what happened, and that's it. Don't be doofus and stay at home. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
All right. So that one was a pretty short. Do you want to go on to the next one, Rippin?
Sure.
All right. So I think we're on
Because
to
I have some pretty long ones.
you have some really meaty ones. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like move aside here so you can read this.
Okay. Am I the a hole for getting up from my chair in the middle of Christmas dinner and shouting, "Shut the F up about my body"? in response to my husband's observation. So, ever since I had my son months ago, my husband has started making indirect comments about my body. He never says any hurtful words, but I find his observations, as he calls it, hurtful. For example, he'd see me wearing an old top and say, "Oh, that top used to look good on you, but not anymore though." Or when he looks at my waist and says, "Wow, didn't know your waist could get this wide." Basically,
Wow.
passive stuff that I tried to ignore till it extended to friends and family. For your info, this went on for months and months and months. We went to Christmas celebration at his family home. My sister in law complimented my floral maxi dress, and my husband said, "I agree it looks nice on you, though I have to admit that your waist could get smaller than this." Awkward silence took over. I was absolutely fuming, and this was my last straw. So I got up from my chair in the middle of dinner and shouted at the top of my lungs, "Shut the F up about my body!" He was absolutely speechless as his family stared while some others tried to get me to calm down, but situation got more tense and dinner ended up being cut short and my husband storming off to his friend's place to spend the night upon leaving a very nasty text saying I embarrassed him and made a scene over an observation he made. He called me childish and told me to get therapy for my insecurities instead of verbally abusing him and scaring his family. Now I feel like an absolute idiot asshole and like I ruined Christmas for him and everybody with my over my sensitivity. Am I the a-hole?
Wow. Husband seems like a horrible person. Like, that's all of these comments are just like they don't they're just like intended to harm, and there's no benefit or anything in saying them. They're horrible things to say, especially someone who's meant to be like, you're the closest person in your life. Um,
Yeah, and
like,
she had her kid like a couple months ago.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, even if she wasn't having a kid and she was just getting bigger, I mean, that's not grounds to just for it to be
Mhm.
okay in any way. Um,
Exactly.
and the fact that like it's been going on for like months and months and months. She's been
Oh
like
my god,
holding her temper
unfortunately.
for a long time. so
Yeah.
so that's my thoughts. And you got dragged into another meeting, Cupid. Um, she could have lost more weight. Gosh, Cupid, was this you? Oh gosh. S- Sorry, I didn't mean that.
But then what has me like uh, calling abuse cuz this douche canoe has the audacity to tell her that she is verbally abusing him and scaring his she is verbally abusing him but he's giving these observations to her like he's like deliberately making her insecure and then telling her that she is the one being verbally abused. That's gaslighting.
Yeah, like it's not. They're not really observations when it's like that top used to look good on you, but not anymore. Though
Hmm.
that's not really like that's not like an observation. That's just intended to hurt, I think. And
Yeah.
yeah, wow, I didn't know your waist could get this wide.
But
That's
in
yeah,
front of the entire family, can you imagine the embarrassment she must have felt?
absolutely, yeah.
Like she gets a compliment and he immediately needs to make her feel like insecure again.
Mm, yeah, yep. Yeah, I think it was just like he's got this really ingrained thought about her and her weight, and when she got a compliment about her appearance, he needed to go like I needed to change her mindset to make her feel horrible again. That's what the internal brain cogs were doing, I think, which is a
I
terrible thing.
bet I bet in reality she's like not even like chubby or anything. She's probably like very good looking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, Mama's got it. I hope she continues to explain how small his sausage is and how she's definitely seen that it was bigger before. Do you think this might be your sister's boyfriend, Cupid? Fantastic. Um, get rid of the man and feel lighter in an instant. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's smart. Well, I think this
I
is
mean,
pretty
what kind of.
clear cut to me. Um,
Yeah. She is not the a hole.
yeah, it's absolutely horrible. You don't want to feel like that from your partner at any stage. Um,
Yeah.
I, I don't really have any other thoughts about this other than like this guy's terrible. So, uh, what do you think, Rippin?
Um,
Any other thoughts?
the only thing I agree on with what he says is that maybe she should get to therapy to see that what he is doing is verbal abuse and how to protect herself against that.
Mm, yeah. If we were to play like devil's advocate, if
See, it's like Cupid says. He's constantly calls her fat so he can basically make her believe she can't do any better than him. He's making
yeah,
her stay by making her insecure.
um,
It's gaslighting.
that's yeah. I've always heard that expression, but I never really looked it up and read what it meant. I'm sorry.
What,
I
gaslighting?
yeah, I don't go on the internet that much. It
Oh,
is.
wait. So I'm gonna find like the right meaning to it.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I think what Cupid's
so
saying is probably true.
so gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in the victim's mind. Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition.
Okay, so basically creating a reality by constantly saying a certain thing, even if it's not true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, or like twisting the roles. Like if he's the one like constantly insulting her and this and that, he's like twisting it so she's thinking like, oh, it's me doing that.
Hmm. Yeah. So Mama had a thought that I had too. Um, she could have possibly told him like originally to stop like after the first time. It doesn't justify what he's saying, but um it went on for like months and months, and then she could have said like, oh, you're hurting me with these comments, and then maybe it wouldn't have like built up over time. That's not in any way to justify what he's saying, but yeah, maybe maybe
He
maybe,
sounds like
maybe
my
that's
mother.
justified. You were gaslighted for years. Yeah, see, Cupid discovered something.
That's good.
All right. Shall we go to the next one, or do you have any thoughts, final thoughts for this one?
No, I think we can all agree that she is not the butthole.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was mine, but it's enormous.
Ooh.
All right. I'm gonna do my best talkity talks. Um, I 35 male was incarcerated and lost touch with 33 female. It's been over 10 years. Yeah, sorry, Q10. Would it be wrong to contact her? Sorry for any mistakes. English is not my first language. When I was a university student, I fell in love with Daria. Not a real name, obviously. She was the little sister of my best friend, so I consider her off limits. But my crush persisted and grew. She's one of those beautiful, brilliant people who is alive and breathing to make the world a better place. How could I not be drawn to that? One day, she told me she had feelings for me, and to my relief, my best friend didn't have a problem with me dating his sister either. So for 2 wonderful years, Daria was my girlfriend. I should have asked her to marry me. I don't know why I didn't. I suppose I thought I had all the time in the world. We were young, and there was no need to rush things. We lived in a country that isn't exactly democratic, and we were political activists. Oh, okay. I ended
Oh.
up getting arrested and going to prison for 9 years. Please don't think I'm some kind of monster for this. I don't want to go into detail in case it makes me identifiable somehow. But we didn't hurt anyone or do anything immoral. What we did is not even illegal in the country where I currently live, where our beliefs are far from extremist. I haven't spoken or seen Daria since the day I got arrested. My best friend died shortly after, and Daria left the country, partly due to the possibility that she'd be arrested too. There wasn't any way for her to contact me while I was in prison, though apparently she contacted my dad a few times in the beginning. Things got even worse in the country while I was incarcerated, so my dad and I emigrated and when I was released. We've been living in Western Europe ever since, and life is pretty okay. I live with my dad and I have a steady, if crappy, job. Months ago, I found Daria online. She lives in a neighboring country, 7 hours away by rail. She doesn't use social media much, but from what I've seen, there's no evidence of a partner or kids. And even if she's married, I'd just be content to be her friend, as I was for the first years we knew each other.
Aw.
Part of me desperately wants to reach out to her, and my dad has been encouraging me to do so, but I feel like it'd be too selfish. The circumstances of her brother's death were very traumatic for her, of her brother's death, and I'm afraid that I'm just a living reminder of all the bad things that happened to us. And if she does have a partner, would my contacting her offend him and trouble their relationship? I don't want to cause any more sadness. Time stood still for me while I was in prison, but I didn't know if it did for her or anybody else. She's done so well for herself, she's built a whole life, and I don't want to derail that life just because I feel entitled to have a place in it. She might not even remember me at all. And even if she did invite me back into her life, I'd be nothing but a burden now, owing to my wrecked mental health. We've been apart twice as long as I knew her. Have I even the right to miss her as much as I do? For now, I've contented myself with Googling her name every so often and seeing that she's okay. It hurts a lot, and I don't know how to make it not hurt. I still love her with everything I have. I probably always will. Should I reach out to her or leave her alone? If I do contact her, what do I even say? The TLDR is unsure whether I should contact my
Aw.
old girlfriend, uh, and I can't read that
There's an
little.
update!
And
Oh my
now that
god,
I'm free from
yes!
prison, wait. Well, let's have a discussion first, and we'll see what the update is.
Oh my god.
I gotta close the door.
Yes!
I'll be right back.
Contact her! Declare your love! Aw. I mean, I would definitely say, contact the girl.
Contact the
Tell her
girl.
how you feel. Yes, contact the girl. Tell her how you've been. Ask her how she's been. Um, you know.
I didn't read this clearly when I copied this one, and I thought he was like I saw that he was like incarcerated, but I didn't know he was like a political activist. So I thought he was like maybe he like did Grand Theft Auto or something, and it probably doesn't change anything, but yeah, it makes the story like way more like romantic this way because
Yeah.
he's like a political prisoner, and yeah. Well, yeah, 9
I
years
mean,
for political activism. That is probably
if
from
he
some
lives
really autocratic
like,
country that doesn't exist
yeah,
anymore.
like Afghanistan or Iran or something like that, you can get that. You can get life for that. You can get shot to death for that.
Yeah,
There's
I
a lot of Arabian refugees who live here in Europe who are just like runaways for political activism and stuff like that. My childhood best friend's parents ran away from their country for reasons like that.
yeah. It sounds like they're probably from the Middle East or Eastern Europe. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not surprised. Like 9 years doesn't sound like a lot, depending on how bad the country is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely go for it, friend. And actually, like while he's doing like I'm gonna say cyber stalking, but like that's just contact her, and and then you'll find out whether she wants you in her life anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
then you'll get closure on the situation. I feel like that's the thing to do. Um,
I'm quickly gonna grab some chippies and some juice because I need something like. Are you still on my stream? Yeah.
uh,
Well, it's only 3. I'll be right back.
okay. Yes. Thank you. Truly, several people have asked for an update, and that's the least I can do in return. I sent Daria a message in the evening after I made my post. It was something like, I don't mean to be rude. I just wanted to say hello, and I thought I would give you my new contact information in case you ever felt like getting in touch. If not, that's completely fine too. Wow, that's pretty classy.
Mm.
I left her my mobile number and email address. I wished her well, and that was that. I knew it might be a while before she responded, if she responded at all, so I tried to put it out of my mind. Early Monday morning, the phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number from the country where Daria lives. Who else would ever be calling me from there? I panicked a little bit, but I managed to answer in time. She asked a few times if it was really me, and I couldn't tell if she was laughing or crying. At first, she called me by my very affectionate version of my name she used to, but then she quickly apologized and corrected herself, which broke my heart a little bit. It was an awkward phone
Mm.
call, but not in a bad way. I was extremely nervous, and it seemed like she was too, but happy also. Some of you mentioned that Daria would want to know that I was safe, and this was more than true than I could have guessed, because unrest in my country increased a lot during the last year I was in prison, and she was afraid that they would decide to quietly kill me rather than let me go. There are documented cases of prisoners like me having met with very suspicious ends in the months before my release, so it wasn't a totally unreasonable worry. She also said she repeatedly tried to send me parcels of supplies and put money on my commissary account, but her attempts were rejected without explanation. After my sentencing, I was not allowed to receive correspondence or to have a commissary account at all because of the classification of my crimes, so she was forced to give up. She told me this as an apology, as if I would have been disappointed with her not helping me more. I had no idea she had done any of that. I did not know that it was a not safe thing for her to do, and I feel terrible that she put herself at risk trying to make me a little bit more comfortable.
Mm.
She didn't seem to want to talk about what happened any more than that, and so we didn't. We changed the subject to more light-hearted things, our jobs, the cities where we live, how my dad is adapting to the new country, etc. When she arrived at work and had an end When she arrived at work and had to end the phone call, she asked if I wanted to continue talking through the messaging app. Obviously, I said yes, and I downloaded it immediately. We sent messages throughout the day, and she even interrupted her commute home to send me a picture of a restaurant model art from one of my favorite books, just because she thought I would like it. She told me that she thought of me every time she saw it, but unfortunately, the restaurant itself is not good. I was afraid she would not remember me, but she even remembers the things I used to like to read. She even remembers a lot of little things, stuff that I forgot. We've been sending
Oh
messages
my god.
back and forth ever since, and talking over the phone after I finish work at night, until she gets too sleepy. Sometimes it feels like I'm 24 and she's texting me from a few blocks away, as if the next thing she might ask for is dinner. Other times it seems like we're trying to will dead versions of ourselves back to life in order to avoid acknowledging what we've lost. She seems a lot more timid than she used to, more passive, which I suppose makes sense. Sometimes I worry about how much I've changed, and that maybe she won't find anything left in me that's worthy of her. But I could express in words what it feels like to hear her laugh. I could explain that there's also a lot that we know very well. She hasn't lost her kindness, her warmth, or her empathy. She still cares about me, and I still care about her. I know that rebuilding a friendship after all that's happened will take lots of patience, and I have plenty to spare. I'm just happy that we have a chance to get to know her again. This morning, Daria asked if I wanted to have a video call with her sometime this weekend. I agreed, but I'm ashamed to admit that as much as I want to see her, I'm very nervous. I look so different than she would remember. My jaw is messed up, and I have the teeth of a hockey player. Fortunately, I will qualify for healthcare insurance and I will be able to get it fixed. I've lost weight that I haven't put back on, and I see an old man in the mirror. I'm worried that I'll get very emotional when I see her and embarrass myself that way. I don't really cry in front of people. I'm not used to it. And this doesn't seem like a good occasion to start. Aside from not wanting
Aw.
to appear pitiful, I don't want her to feel forced to comfort me. If anyone has advice on how to handle this, it would be much appreciated. Overall, this week couldn't have gone better, and I'm extremely grateful to anyone who gave me the little push of encouragement I needed to send her that message. 1,000 times thank you. Um, just to clarify, she doesn't have husband or kids, as I said in my first post. I only considered contacting her because there was no evidence of her on a partner on social media. But I understand that my first post wasn't visible for a while, so that may be why it may not have been obvious. Sorry for the confusion, and that's the update. Good for them.
Aw. I hope they find a way back to each other. I feel like they're meant to be.
Yeah, yeah, it's very nice. Oh,
Some people have such rough lives.
yeah,
Hello,
I'm
Mr. Fun.
yeah. Hello, Mr. Fun. I'm glad that they found happiness, or are in the process of finding happiness. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it's
This
it's
was a
like
wholesome story.
it's so wholesome that it's almost unbelievable. You don't you think?
Yeah.
This could be like a story from like a movie or like a novel or something.
This this makes you believe in love.
Hmm. I think if she isn't already in a relationship, she and him will work it out. I have a good feeling
Yeah.
about it, and I don't think she'll care about his teeth. It doesn't matter.
When you truly love someone, what you look like doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Have you been,
Oh,
Mister
this was
Fun?
a very nice story.
Yeah, typically all of these are like the in depth like negatives of human behavior, but this one's just been
Mm-hmm.
like one positive after another. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's good to have one like that. Mr. Fun says she'll care, but it won't stop her. Yeah, I think that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like it's best to show your true self,
Yeah,
all emotions out, especially after what he has been through.
yeah. It sounds like they were each other's like you only find that one person in your life kind of that's that kind of relationship. I think you don't get another chance at that.
You think that exists to you?
I'm not sure, but I think if it does, then that's them. You don't think so, Ruben?
I have I'm scared about that because I feel like I already met that person, but
Hmm.
I lost that person. So if that was the case, then I mean, it's a bit sad.
Mm. Mr. Fun, you're a
I've seen a lot
47.
of relationships.
Oh, I'm glad you can join us. US is that's US military, no, US Marine Corps, US Marine Corps. Oh, welcome in. You've seen a lot of relationships. Yeah, it's it's hard being in the military, right? Because you're always
Hmm.
like deployed away from your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend sort of thing. I don't know anybody personally from the military, but yeah, I've seen some stories that that they're like away for years.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so we've been on this story for a while. Do you want to go to the next one, Rippin?
Yeah.
Oh, and I should give a shout out. Um, I'm streaming with Rippin Kitten. She's on. She's currently co-streaming with me, and we've been having fun. A lot of your brothers have
Yes.
good and bad relationships. Ah, yeah, I could imagine so. All right,
It'd be like that sometimes.
so take it away, Rippin.
Oh, yeah, I love this one. Am I the a hole for kicking out one of my bridesmaids for showing up in the wrong dress? My 23 female wedding was back on Saturday, December 31st, and I'm still getting backlash from this. So I want to know if I was the a hole move. In the country I live in, it's currently winter, and we get a fair amount of snow, so my wedding was a winter themed wedding. The color theme was forest green and gold. My dress was obviously white, and I chose the color of my bridesmaids' dresses to be green as well. My maid of honor's dress was black, and everyone was to wear gold. And I can't read it right now. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Fun. And everyone was to wear gold accessories. I have this friend, we'll call her Kat, that I asked to be one of my bridesmaids. When we went dress shopping and I told them the color theme I was going for, Kat immediately expressed that she thought forest green was a bad choice. She said she said she thinks it's not a flattering color and thought I should choose something different and more girly. I said no because my wedding was winter themed and I thought the color would go perfect with the theme. She suggested a pink, blue, or even a red one. I said no, but thanks for your opinion. She found out my maid of honor's dress was black and asked if she could wear black too. I said no, only my maid of honor is wearing black. I paid for all the dresses. Fast forward to the wedding day. Everyone's getting their hair and makeup done, and Kat shows up 30 minutes late holding a bag that looked like it had a dress inside. I asked her what this was for. She told me it was for later on at the reception if she got uncomfortable and wanted to change after pictures. I was like, okay, cool. So fast forward, we're all dressed and walking down the stairs because the ceremony is beginning in 30 minutes and we were going to take some pictures before. Kat is the last person to come down and she's wearing a black dress. At the time, I was preoccupied taking pictures with my parents, but my maid of honor came over to me and made me aware of the situation. I confronted Kat and asked her what was going on. She said she hates her bridesmaid dress, as the color is ugly and makes her look gross, so she's wearing black. I told her please go back and change. She refused and started walking away from me. I said I'm going to ask her one more time, and if she doesn't oblige, I'm calling security and kicking her out. She began yelling at me to F off, so I called security and asked them to please escort her out. She started making a big scene, yelling how I'm such a bee, that I can't force her to wear anything, and that I'm a horrible, inconsiderate friend. The wedding went on, and it was truly amazing. Ever since the wedding, Kat has been blowing up my phone with texts saying some really nasty things and asking for the money back she spent on the black dress since it was a waste and she didn't get to wear it. I had to block her number. Some of my other bridesmaids have been giving me shit, like saying that it was a little harsh kicking her out and embarrassing her like that, and that maybe I should give her the money back. Am I the a hole for kicking her out?
Wow. I just want to go back to Mr. Fun says the girl he when he joined stayed with him for 2 years, but then they went to college and wanted to start seeing other people, and he was sad. So I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Fun. Mama
Yeah.
says she had a bridesmaid tell her that she didn't like her dress color as well, and Mama ended up changing the color. Wow. Okay. Wow. That's
Very considerate.
that is very considerate. Yeah. I feel like not that I know anything about this whatsoever. I'm just a bear giving advice. Uh, I think if it's your wedding, you can state whatever the standard is for coordination. And
Yeah, I agree.
if you're like being invited to the wedding as one of the the maids of honor or even like one of the bridesmaids, you should be happy for the bride and listen to whatever they uniform or whatever standard they have. You got to follow it because you're respecting the bride. This isn't your event, so
Yeah.
she's doing some individual thing, and she doesn't really have the right to, because it's not really her time. It's not her moment. So um, I think she was okay to call security and kick her out. Yeah, because it seemed like they had a big argument and like things were escalating. So
Yeah, you don't want a scene on your wedding.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jamster Dude says she paid for her dress and still her friend didn't wear it. The friend knew color coordination. She could have said no. Yeah, she could have said no in the beginning if she really hated it. Also, what audacity does she have that she asks for money for the black dress
Mm.
she wore to secretly wear on the wedding? Then the bride would have to pay like for the maid of the bridesmaid's dress and her secret dress. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. She seems like a terrible friend, and I'm surprised that she was invited to be a bridesmaid in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you do you have? I'm gonna say, do you have friends like that? I don't know. Like, I don't know that many people, so
And like even then, still, because she was fine with her changing a dress for the reception afterwards.
yeah,
Or the thing afterwards. She just needed to wear the bridesmaid's dress for the pictures
It-
and the ceremony.
yeah. It's a very low bar to, you know, like
Me.
you've been given this respect to be the bridesmaid. Can't you just wear this dress that she picked out, no matter how hideous or ugly you think it looks? Just just do something to respect the bride for one moment. She even seemed
It's
okay
probably
with
not that
changing it
bad.
after. Yeah, it's probably totally fine. Yeah, yeah. She doesn't seem like
Mr.
a good person.
Mr. Fun says this lady doesn't sound like a friend and doesn't act like one. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
I totally agree. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Hammy says it's bear advice. Yeah, I'm the advice bear. Um, it's so Q10 says not at all. It's day one, and she could change dress after. I know that there are bridezillas out there, but I don't feel like this was the case. Yeah,
Yeah, same.
maybe she is a bridezilla, but I don't think, even if she was a bridezilla, I don't think she was unreasonable here. Um,
I agree. I mean, it's her wedding. And I'm glad it didn't get ruined by the fight because she says it went on and it was amazing. So, because these
yeah,
kind of
that's true.
situations can
Mm,
ruin a nice day.
yep, yep. So it sounded like her wedding was still fine. So um, it's not standard for the bride to buy the bridesmaid dresses. Interesting. So
I have a
she
horror.
didn't have to pay
I
for this one.
I have a wedding horror story.
Oh yes.
When I was 16. Yeah, I'm clumsy and I'm embarrassing and I do embarrassing stuff all the time. So, but when I can't believe I'm telling this on stream, but it's funny. The moment itself, I was dying of embarrassment. But when I was 16, I went to my uncle's wedding and I had my first big girl's dress, like with heels and stuff like that. But I'm not a heel girl. I was really like a tomboy. I wore baggy jeans and sneakers. I had a skateboard. I was like one of those play girl next door boyish weirdo. And yeah, I went to the bathroom, to the toilet, and I came back and I saw like people laughing and I was like, what the hell? And my dad came to me and he was like, your skirt is in your underwear and there's like toilet paper hanging out. And I was turning around and the toilet paper, my skirt was like in my underwear like this. And then there was like toilet paper rolling behind me like meters long. And everyone saw that. And I was like, shit.
Oh well.
So yeah,
I mean, that's
that
just a
that
funny
was
story,
me.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
you were not that old, right? How old did you say you were?
I was 16 and I was very embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just a funny story.
But if I look back at it, It was really funny. And every time I hear like a wedding story, it kind of pops up back in my head.
Yeah, Kittin says, "Oh, poor Rippin." um, yeah, yeah. All right, so
I wasn't married at 16. I was at a wedding.
yeah, Mr. Fun. um, Cupid thinks if the bride is paying and she gives you a pink, yellow, and polka dot dress, you wear it. Yeah, exactly. Especially if she pays for it. If the bride is paying for it, then like, come
Yeah.
on. Um,
You should be happy you get a free dress.
yeah, your bridesmaids, you're here to make the bride look better, be supportive, and look like a poopy for one day. Yeah, why not?
And also, forest green is a very flattering color. Imagine if it was like pink or blue or red. Those colors don't work for everyone, but forest green works for a lot of people.
I can't picture it in my head, honestly. So I think it
Mr.
would
Fun
depend
wouldn't
on the
wear the
cut.
dress.
Yeah, it would depend on the cut more than anything else. I don't think any of the colors would make it bad immediately.
Mr.
Um,
Fun wouldn't go to the wedding if he had to wear that dress.
Mr. Fun. Hey, like I if I was a groomsman and they told me to wear a dress to support my friends who are having a wedding, I would wear a dress. So it doesn't matter what the dress is. All right, shall we go to the next one?
hmm I think we all agree here that she was not the a-hole.
Yes, that's true. Um,
You always have such funny titles.
am I the a hole for not letting my sister's boyfriend use the hot sauce? Um, no pants. Yeah, I don't like wearing pants. It's true.
Okay, interesting.
Um, every Sunday, my family rotates who makes dinner. One day it's my wife and I. Next day it's my sister and her boyfriend. Next day my mom and my dad. And finally my grandmother. With our busy lives, this day is important to us because besides holidays, we wouldn't be able to meet up and chat or eat without it. We come from an Italian family, but we're in Canada. My mum was born there. I was here. I take food very seriously, especially Italian food, and doubly especially because my nonna is eating with us. I spent all day preparing dinner, and when we sat down to eat, my sister's boyfriend is humming and hawing, saying that my meal is missing something. He said he needs hot sauce and starts walking to my fridge. All I have is Frank's and sriracha. I like hot sauce too, but I don't dare mix cuisines like that. So I stopped him saying I'd appreciate if he enjoyed my meal as it is. He said it's no big deal, and in a way it isn't, but also in many ways it is. I told him at the very least, I have some Calabrian chili oil he could use, or dried chili flakes. Then it would at least be Italian. He insists on sriracha, and I declined him. He escalated it and said that he was going to the store and buy his own bottle and return if that's the case. And I said by all means. He left, we finished up dinner, and we called it an early night. Everyone is putting their coat and shoes on as he returns, and he's pissed. Was I the a hole? My sister is on my side, if it matters. But this has been a fight all day yesterday between them because he wants my sister on his side, not mine. They've only been dating for 3 months. Edit. If it matters, I made
Ooh.
carbonara, bruschetta, and then for mains, which he didn't get to yet, was a seafood platter and red sauce. My wife and I are 35, 34 and 35 respectively, and my sister and boyfriend are 23 and 22 respectively. Okay. Well,
Who puts hot sauce on that?
so what do you think? It's not okay?
Um, well, I have a lot of thoughts.
Please.
I think this boyfriend has a horrible taste
Hmm.
because Italian food is delicious. especially the things that he sums up. You don't put sriracha hot sauce on that. I mean, the chili flakes maybe, but still, like they have a very refined taste, like olive oil, like light. And it's kind of like you have to like appreciate it. But then on the other hand, I don't think it is up to you to decide to tell your guests what they how they want to eat their food. I would be like, okay, I'll just get it out, and I mean, I'll keep the thoughts to myself. Like, damn, you have no taste.
Mm.
But I wouldn't have done it like. I think it is a bit rude because he was a guest.
Hmm. Hmm. I
I think it's rude.
so for not letting him use the sauce, or for
Hmm.
using the sauce, or both.
For not letting him use the sauce and then sending him to the store, eating the food with your family on your own, and then letting him return and can have
With no
nothing.
food.
I
Yeah,
think it's
that
yeah.
that's
I
that's
think that's
that's pretty
very
bad.
rude.
Yeah, yeah. Um, if we go back to like the core issue, um, so I think in Italian food, like you can put chili flakes in like pasta. I don't think that's that unusual. There's some like
Uh huh.
spicy Italian dishes. Um, so she did have dried chili flakes, which is used in Italian cuisine.
Yeah.
I think sriracha, however, like I've seen some people like they love sriracha so much they've got like bottles and bottles of it, and they'll put it like over absolutely everything. They must have like broken taste buds or something, because like maybe they need like that explosive level of flavor to taste anything because all their taste buds are dead. I've seen people like that. Um,
Yeah.
so maybe he sounds like one of those kind of people. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, you could also ask, like, would you at least try it without the hot sauce first so you
mm,
can, like, feel how it tastes like? I have no problem you taking it, but I just would like you to taste it like how it's supposed to taste. Um, but, I also lived with someone for 10 years who put ketchup on everything, so.
mm. So I've been in the situation where like I've cooked a meal, and um I have a guest who's is coming to eat it, and then they decide to like drench the meal in something which would ruin the flavor, or overpower any
Mm,
flavors that I've invested time into creating. And I think
yeah.
from that perspective, um, it definitely hurts, because you've put effort into and care into creating an experience for and like something enjoyable for the people. um and and yeah, it just feels horrible. But having said that, I do still let them. I don't say anything. I just feel I just feel horrible on the inside, but I still let them do whatever they want to do, because as an adult human being, you have the right, I feel, to eat whatever you want to eat. So
Yeah. Jamster hates it when people put ketchup on all his food. And Mr. Fun says he might have a, a geisha and needed to be able to taste anything. He might not even know it. Oh, like you can't taste.
yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
of those people before. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
a thing. Yeah.
Now that is a thing.
Mm. Um, Yeah, so Cupid says, if a guest wants to put ketchup, does it really hurt you? Well, yeah,
No.
I feel it can, but I still let them do whatever they want to.
Oh no, I'm going to die. Ah, ketchup on my food.
If it does feel bad, I can tell you it definitely feels bad. Frank's slogan, I put that crap on everything. Is that always it's always sunny? I think that's one of that references. Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, he was offered things that go with the dish, and people are very, very serious as to how different dishes are served and what goes with it. Every person has their own way of tasting things, so relax a bit. But sister's boyfriend was, well, kind of ignorant and stubborn too. Yeah, I do think, like, regardless, like them finishing off the meal without the guy because of this disagreement, that's pretty cold. That's
Yeah.
definitely wrong.
although I do agree with Kyoten, Italians are very, very proud of their cuisine. I
Mm,
have two. I have a couple of no, I have more Italian friends. I was in New York with two Italian friends, and they wanted to prepare dinner every evening. I let them do it. It was a delight. I mean, the cooking was mwah. But we stayed in an apartment that was rented out by an American girl, and she found them like arrogant and rude, and they were just, well, I mean, in my opinion, being Italian. But that's that's how you see how cultural differences clash.
mm. They shouldn't get a free pass for being a certain culture, though. But
No, no,
everybody
no.
should be held to the same standard. Um,
I
so
was like the local therapist there.
uh, yeah. So Cupid says it's like saying, "Do you want coffee?" You have to have it black with no sugar because that's how he likes it. Yeah, I suppose so. I
Yeah.
understand that point of view. Yeah, I still think it hurts if they drench it in a completely different flavor. Um, I kind of agree with both points of view. Maybe they like microwave chicken nuggets. Mama says. Mama's kids love microwaved chicken nuggets. They don't like like oven cooked nuggets. They like them soggy.
Ew.
And Cupid says lock them up.
Mr. Fun
So
also says that ageisha is super common since COVID, and that is true too, because
that is true.
COVID took away your taste.
Yeah, a lot of I hear that a lot actually. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they destroy like the sensory things in your nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, it doesn't matter how proud you are of your food. What you like isn't necessarily what someone else likes. They're still eating your dish but adding what they like to it. Yeah. That's fair enough. Maybe he should have been served plain pasta. Then he could soak in all the hot sauce he wanted. Yeah, DIY pasta for everybody, right? You go in the kitchen and you make whatever you want to eat. All right. Do you have any final thoughts for this one, Rippin?
Um, my final answer is yes, the a-hole.
Yeah,
It's just not a polite way how to treat guests, and he was a guest, so
yeah, yeah.
I wonder
I
what
agree.
I wonder what the comments said about this actually, but yeah.
I feel like Reddit's gonna be full of like really snobby, like pretend food people, and they're like, "Oh
Really?
yeah, he was terrible. Like, how dare he suggest that Italian food has chili sriracha in it?" That's
Do you still have the link? I want to
um,
find it.
yeah. Let's take a quick look. Um, yeah, I lost your tab when I was looking through the other one, so I don't want to make the same mistake again.
Ah. um let me mm,
Yeah, it doesn't look that easy to find it.
mm. I'm just typing I have it.
You have it? Okay.
Yeah, I just typed the title into Google. Yeah. Okay. So
Bye bye, mama.
there's a top comment. You want that one?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think they usually give a general consensus, don't they?
Yeah. It's a colorectal surgeon who replies.
Bye bye, mama.
I don't know what ESH is short for,
Hmm.
but it says policing how someone likes their food is a bad look. My husband likes ketchup on his scrambled eggs. I think he must have a demon whispering lies into his ear, but that's his right to let the demon lead him astray. I like hot sauce too, but I don't dare mix cuisines like that. You say this like you think you'll also invite a demon into your home. Chill, it's hot sauce. However, I feel like the boyfriend's comment, something is missing, is pretty rude on his part. All he'd have to
That's true.
say or ask is that he prefers his food spicy. Critiquing the meal was uncalled for. I'm also pretty baffled by his insisting on going to the store to purchase hot sauce. That's just absurd. You think of hot sauce were such a priority he'd keep it in the back of his pocket or something. Honestly, you both sound exhausting, and I feel bad for your sister. Edit, y'all, I'm well aware that ketchup on eggs is common. I just think it's evidence of demons on earth and that God has forsaken us all. And yet, I offer ketchup to my guests since I don't discuss religion at the breakfast table.
So Hammy says E ESH is everyone sucks here. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Actually, I haven't looked into the comment he gave about it. He could have handled that differently and say, like, I just want some hot sauce on this.
Yeah, saying something is missing from the meal and then like leaving to actually go buy the hot sauce. That's those
Hmm.
were pretty dickish moves. That's fair. All right.
Yeah.
So would you like to go to the next one, Rippin?
Yes.
All right. I think this is yours, right? So
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
take it away.
There's a small parking lot next to my wife's salon, only three spots at one end. These three spots are right up front and highly fought over because of the busy check cashing place next door. I pull into one of the three and get my kids, and just as I'm putting my rig in reverse, a guy pulls in with his little pickup truck and double parks right behind me. I pop out and give him a hey dude, what the and he tells me to call the cops as he walks into the check cashing place. My rig has a pretty good turn radius, so I was able to back out after a couple of tries. As I pull along next to his truck, I grab the bag of Doritos of the seat next to me and crunch it up real good and proceed to fling the tiny chips all over his trucks. Bed, cab, hood, tiny crumbs were everywhere. He chooses this moment to pop out of the check cashing place and yells, "Hey, I saw that!" I lean back out of the window as I drive off and tell him, "Call the cops!" just as the first of the seagulls descended onto his truck. Sure, not the best way to handle it, but it's my petty revenge. I love it so much.
Wow.
I love that.
Okay. Well,
It is a bit of an a-hole move, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. He deserved that.
so they were fighting over a parking spot, it seems, right?
Yeah, he was parked, and the other guy parked like right behind him, double parking, which is first of all not allowed.
Mm, that's true.
But it makes it driving out of your spot really difficult. So, yeah, he was just rude, and yeah, this guy was just sassy.
I wouldn't waste chips on this person though. That's good food that's gone to waste.
I can see that, but maybe it was leftovers.
Maybe they were terrible chips, like they've gone bad.
If I would do that, my kid would be like, "No, my potato chips!" Ah."
This one's funny. Yeah, I think I would never do something like this. I don't think
Mm,
I'm really a revenge person.
I'm not that confrontational,
Mm, I think so. But
but the thought of people having this in them to do this is very entertaining.
I mean, you certainly think about it, right? But whether you actually
Yeah,
do it, I guess, is another thing completely.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't do that either. I would be like really mad and like, but yeah, I'm too nice for this.
I feel like this is America for some reason. Like this story, and
Yeah, well, a rake pickup truck.
yeah.
It's
So
definitely not Belgium.
so I think like when he like the second part of the story plausibly could have been like him going, "Hey, I saw that," and then like him like pulling out a shotgun and then like shooting him like and then destroying his car and possibly killing the OP. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
or is my impression of America like a little bit lopsided? it
Yeah,
just it just as an Australian, I feel like that could happen in the US, right?
yeah. I don't see this happening in my country. Like, it could happen, but people are very legal in their driving here. You would get a fine. I mean, police is everywhere, especially in the seaside towns.
So
Also, no one drives a pickup truck or a rig here. I mean,
ha- we call them utes. We call them utility vehicles.
wait, what? Wait, I need to look this up because I might have like the strange rig car. What is that? What's a rig?
I thought that was like one of those big trucks, right? Like the front part of the big truck. So you know how like you've got like a truck with a trailer. I think it's like the front bit with the motor in it, right? Like
Rig
without
vehicle?
without the trailer bit.
Oh yes. Oh yes, it's a big truck thing. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we don't have people don't drive that standard here.
yeah. It's definitely in America. We're in America. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The yelling too. Belgians would be like, I'm just going to call the cops.
Hammy's like the OP was in the right. Depending on which
Yeah.
car he was in, he would have backed into his truck and been like, "Whoops, I guess you shouldn't park illegally." Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Is
America.
Hammy American?
Hammy's from the West Coast, America.
Oh. Yeah, Americans are like that, apparently. Don't mess with my car!
I think
I'll
they're very
mess you
petty.
up!
They are very very
Yeah, they
petty.
are. They are. They are very petty. You can
Everybody's
see that on
petty.
the Ready. Yeah. Hey now. Well, I mean, sorry, Mr. Fun. I'm just stating what I experienced over the years. I resemble that remark.
Are you an American, Mr. Fun?
Well, as he was in the US Marine Corps, I would
Oh
hope so.
yes, yes, you did say that. Yeah. Um. All right. So shall we go to the next one, Rippin?
Sure.
I think we've got one each. So would you like to call it a stream after that?
It's all fine. I still have time, so
Okay.
whatever
We
you're good with.
we've only got two more prepared, so I think it's probably a good amount of good time.
Time. Yeah.
All right. So this one is: Am I the a-hole for walking out of a restaurant on my girlfriend? Girlfriend and
Ooh.
I were having dinner at a restaurant when she got a text from her best friend who recently gave birth, and she said, "Oh my goodness, she got a C-section." She works as a nurse, so she then explained to me the type of incision they make for that and how it will leave a scar. I then, as a joke, said, "At least she'll still be tight down there." My girlfriend looked
Oh.
confused and then said that was a weird comment to make about her friend. And then I said it was a very normal joke to make, and she disagreed. Um, TLDR, there was some back and forth. I asked her to drop it, and she kept trying to talk about it. I said to her, "You're so insecure," and then she goes, "Does it make you feel good to call me that?" So then I got really frustrated, got up, walked out of the restaurant, and drove home. She called me several times. I drove both of us there. But I was so frustrated, and I just wanted to get home and turn my phone off. She showed up at our apartment 30 minutes later and was really pissed, calling me an a-hole, and overreacted, and that she waited in the cold for 20 minutes for an Uber. Am I the a-hole for walking out on her and leaving her there frustrated? Well,
Uh, I don't think that's a difficult question.
uh, you, You're
Um,
thinking absolutely yes, right?
it's a bit distasteful to make that comment.
Mm.
She might have like gotten into a spiral of feeling. I can see how this evolved. She took it like, I would be like, this is a bad joke.
Hmm.
But she took it upon it to like puzzle it out, and then it all went down. And they both went this way, and then he left. I don't understand why she has to wait 20 minutes in the cold for an Uber, because you can wait. Couldn't she wait in the restaurant for the Uber till it was there? I mean, what the hell? Um, yeah,
I think it was
I
a
think
bad
he's.
joke, but yeah, it was. I think it was definitely still a joke, no matter how bad it was. And everybody says inappropriate things every now and then. I feel
I don't.
everybody
Yeah,
slips sometimes. So
I feel like these two people shouldn't be a couple, because I feel like if he was got frustrated and run off, this isn't the first time that they've gotten into a discussion where she goes tearing down every word he says and questioning everything he says, and he gets frustrated, and that's not a good way to solve conflict. So
mm,
um I think it would be harsh to say that he's an a-hole, because I think he just made a really bad joke.
hmm.
But I don't think I'm not willing to say that he's like an a-hole for that. I've heard that joke made before by really stupid boys. I mean, it's yeah, uh, it's a common joke about around men.
But
You don't tell it to your girlfriend.
is it even a joke? I don't even see how it's a joke because like in
It is. I don't see it as a joke.
it's not really a joke. It's just like
It's not even
there's
true.
no intelligent like 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 with a joke there's some sort of like subversion or some like expectation change, right? But this is just
Yeah, and
like it's
also
I
like
don't get
it's
it.
not even true.
Yeah, so it's okay. I think
But
everybody thinks it's
yeah,
in bad taste. But
yes.
I don't think he's necessarily wrong for for saying the joke in that like everybody makes mistakes and she's obviously offended. Um,
Now, on the other hand, I think it's a bit rude where he leaves
yeah, I think
her
he is an a
there
hole for
without.
that. Yeah, yeah. Like Hammy said that. He left her there like in the restaurant alone, and presumably like I don't know if they've already ordered food, but
Well, if it was me, I was just gonna enjoy the food on my own. Bish, I can do that. I'm independent. I
he
don't need you to enjoy my dinner.
I don't know if they what arrangement they would normally have, but he ate some of said food and then left without paying. So
That must have caused a scene. Ugh.
so if they were friends instead of like boyfriend and girlfriend, that's pretty nasty leaving the other person with the bill.
Yeah.
That would definitely be a dick move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think we're all like leaving her there is the problem, not the joke.
Yeah. The joke is not. Yeah. The problem is indeed leaving her there.
Mm.
That's not a very gentlemanly thing to, but I think he's just immature.
Well, yeah, not even
He's not ready for a committed relationship. I don't know how old he is, but no.
they sound they sound like they're pretty young. What do you think, Riven? I don't know if I don't know if I can read that much into it, but they sound pretty young to me.
I think they don't sound. I think they're in their late 20s,
Mm, I think so.
which is fairly young, but I think she's a handful, and he's still immature. he's not mature yet. But
They're both
Mr.
kind of
Fun
not
says
mature.
this. Mr. Fun says PMS is a real biche, and this story sounds like she is a handful more than just in this instance. See, I agree. I feel like this person is like, uh, yeah, tearing apart every word he said. It's just not a good combination. Just delete, get out of there, and find each other or someone new.
You
It's not
don't
gonna
want
work.
someone with no sense of humor, right? So maybe it's a good thing for him.
Exactly.
Um, all right, so should we go to the last one, Rippin?
Sure.
All right, so this one's pretty long.
Ah, yes, this is mine.
Maybe you'll have better luck reading from the Reddit post directly because I gotta shrink it down to super tiny.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah, I'll try
Um.
and maybe I'll expand it and then I'll move it when you've gone to the next bit. All right, I'll do everything but the update. All right, okay.
Oh God. Wait. Where is it? Ah, here it is. Okay. Copy. Okay. My wife is dead. The best Christmas present I could have gotten. At the beginning of 2022, I caught my wife having an affair with one of her exes. Our marriage wasn't perfect. I was not the perfect husband, I will admit, but I did my best. I put effort into the entire 5 years we were together. I put my all into the relationship. Her? I could not say the same. I was forced to confront the reality of who she truly was shortly after I caught her. She illegally evicted me from our shared home, lied to the police to try and get me arrested, tried to get me fired from my job, and tried to turn all of my friends against me. Some of these succeeded, while others did not. She has made my life a living hell since the day I asked her for the divorce, as has planted her heels into the ground over our separation to try and drain all my finances and emotional strength from me. The only upside is we had no kids for her to use as weapons, but I soon found out that her policy of strict birth control with me did not extend to her suitor as he got her pregnant 5 months ago. I thought maybe this would help speed along the divorce, but it only rallied her in her efforts to destroy me. On Christmas Eve, my wife and her suitor went to a party where both of them got drunk. I find this fact terrible as all her friends knew she was pregnant as well. Her suitor drove them home, a mistake that would cost them both their lives. In the state I live in, our divorce is now considered to never have even started. I will be able to claim her life insurance policy for myself and move back into my home. Her parents called me up distraught yesterday, acting as if the last year had never happened and offered their full support to my funeral preparations for her. My confusion here was beyond belief, but the apple does not fall far from the tree when it comes to my wife. I told them if they want a funeral, it was coming out of their pockets. I will pay for her to be cremated and deliver her ashes to them in the cheapest urn offered if they desire. They called me horribly and tried to guilt me about her life insurance, but after only 4 minutes on the phone with them, I hung up and blocked every one of her family's numbers. I'm going to be taking a few extra days of work to move back into my house over the next week. I've already made arrangements to have her stuff hauled off so my home will be an empty canvas to start my life anew. I don't know if there's a God or if this was just karma, but I truly believe now that I have come out on the other side of the storm. I will do the update after that.
Okay. Wow. I don't think they're unreasonable for thinking having all of these feelings. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
just because they're married on paper doesn't mean like you're actually like together, so to speak. and you don't really feel anything
Exactly.
for them. If anything, like they have really negative feelings about each other, which he's completely
Mm-hmm.
justified in feeling. Um, if you want to cut off all of the ties with the previous family, that's perfectly
Mm-hmm.
fine. And the law sees them as, I mean, the law is giving him, um, all of the assets or whatever, and that's his right because that's what the law says. So
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't
I
believe
can
in
I
karma
can
though,
s-
so that's
I can see how he thinks this is divine intervention. If
um,
your wife, who you want to divorce from, is making your life a living hell and at the same time having like a relationship with an ex and being pregnant of him, oh my god, this poor guy. Being kicked
lucky
out
for
of
this
his
guy,
home.
huh? Yeah.
So so he finds out she's been cheating on him with an ex. So he wants to divorce. She illegally evicts him from the house. Something with the police, tries to make him lose his job, blah, 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 blah. Then he finds out she's pregnant from that ex. What the hell? Was she just going to try to make everyone believe that the kid is his? Uh,
Um, I don't know.
and
I
then
don't know.
claim child support in the divorce?
Well,
But yeah.
yeah. Well, I think he probably would have had a paternity test, which would have like easily put an end to that. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah. He just got like he got very lucky, I suppose. I think he got very lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, just classic girl. Hello, welcome. Yeah, what an a hole she is or was. You like my coffee cup? Yeah. Um, it's really good merch. Make sure you get it. I'll um I'll put a link to where you'll be able to pick it up.
Mr. Fun missed how these people died. Well, they went to a Christmas party, they got drunk, got in the car, got into a car crash, dead. Yeah.
um, yeah. So I think there's not really too much to this. Yeah, he's just been pretty lucky. Do you want to do the update
Yeah.
or do you have any other things you want to add first?
Uh, there's an update. Because there was like discussion about him being a bit rude to the parents, how they lost their daughter, blah 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 blah, and he didn't want to. I understand where he's got like still his anger and like has to deal with all that. Um, yeah. What
Do
is the update?
just before we go on, do you think the previous family, I mean the wife's parents of and other family are owed anything?
No,
I agree, but
no,
I'm just wondering
no.
because the
So
law says
update.
he's the next of kin, and
Legal. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I bet she cost him a lot of money in the past year with all her shenanigans.
yeah.
So update. I have decided to elaborate on a few common threads I see in this post here, as responding to all of the comments would be too much. Firstly, some are judging me for the way I am reacting to the death of 3 people. You're right, it is not normal, nor is it healthy. I feel no emotions towards my ex at this moment. All my hatred, resentment, and regret evaporated when I learned of her death. I feel nothing but relief right now. This void has slowly consumed me over the past few days. I feel numb, like I'm dreaming, like what happened is not real. This woman made my life a living hell for over a year. She set out to destroy me and would not stop until she did. I did not like the fact that I feel this way over the death of 3 people, but that is not a box I feel ready to unpack at this moment. Secondly, I have reached out to my ex's mom today and things are much more civil as of now. I'll pay the hauling company to move her stuff into one of their storage units and they can figure out the rest. Her mother revealed to me that they cannot afford a host of to host a funeral for my ex. I'm 100% the legal beneficiary of her life insurance. Despite my past hatred for her family, I told her mother I will give them a small amount from her life insurance so they can have a service and arrange burial logistics for her. This is contingent on us cutting ties after, and I will not be involved any further in her funeral. I will still be talking to a lawyer. Lastly, I am not going to elaborate any further except the only lives lost was hers, her suitor, and their unborn child. Some are saying I should sell the house. Right now, I only want to return to my home. The details of where I end up, either there or somewhere over the rainbow, are yet to be determined. I do not know what life holds for me or for any of us. This event happened, maybe for a reason, or maybe the universe has no logic at all. This gift put an end to a period of my life that sent me to the brink of destruction. It's morbid to think that the death of three people was what pulled me to the other side alive. It's interesting how quick it can all change or end.
There you go. That's a nice
Yeah.
wrapped up in a tight little. I mean, a nice little package there. I think the OP's actually quite responsible. I don't know if that's the right
Yeah,
word.
I agree.
Yeah, because they he's offered to give a small amount for the funeral and a
I
burial,
think he's
whatever.
very kind.
Yeah, that's more than he needs to. And just to and the smart thing is to say, I'm giving you this. Don't ever talk to me again. I think that's the right thing to do.
Mhm.
Closed it off nice and neatly.
Yeah. Also like people like being shocked that he wasn't feeling anything for the death of three people, with the baby included. I mean, I kind of understand because you wouldn't mourn the death of someone you really, really don't get along with, and especially the mistress. What, a girl is a mistress? What is a guy cheater?
Um,
Suitor? No,
Suda, I don't know.
Mister, mistress, Mister.
Mister,
I the woman's
a Mister of the
cheating
night.
thingy. Yeah, you won't mourn the death of that guy, and the baby. You have no connection with that baby whatsoever. So I don't make a fuss out of that.
Homewrecker, just classic girl says. Yeah, that's true.
Homewrecker.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
glad.
that's interesting.
I'm glad that OP has is not feeling like anger, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he doesn't have anger in his heart anymore.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So
I
Q10
agree.
says, sad to know that there are those kind of people out there. Like who or what hurt you that bad that you feel the need to destroy someone else like that? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
even if I dislike somebody a lot, I don't feel the need to hurt them because I don't feel like I would gain satisfaction out of that. Although
Same.
I know that there are people who don't aren't like that at all. Um, just classic girl says, "Oh yeah, the official probably the correct term is paramour, the
Mr.
male equivalent of mistress,
Mr. Fun says it's an adulterer.
an adulterer." We're learning new words, everybody! Hooray!
He missed the first part because his wife was yammering. Yeah, wives be like that sometimes, Mr. Fun.
All right. Well, I think we've
I
done
don't
pretty
know.
well
I
here.
don't have a wife. Yeah, we did well. It was a fun stream, see you.
Yeah, it was
We
great.
finally did all our stories.
We yeah we've been really efficient, and I think we went through them pretty thoroughly too. So I like that.
Yeah,
It's good. Um,
yeah.
so are you good
Ho-
to leave this as the last one, Rippin?
sure, yes. I hope everyone enjoyed it in stream and in chat. Your side, my side. We had quite a lot of people involved, and that was fun to hear all their opinions about it.
Q10 says we learned some stuff for Big Brain. Yeah, I learned some words too. Yeah, I mean I've heard of those words before. I just didn't really associate it with that.
I still don't know what TLDR is.
Oh, Uh, I know that one. TLDR is too long. Didn't read.
Ah, okay.
So it's like the like an abridged, or like I'm shortening something.
Because Reddit uses a lot of like shortened things, and I'd never know what they are.
Hmm. Similar to long story short, Hammy says.
Ah,
All right. Well,
okay.
so yeah, I'd like to thank everybody on both streams. Thanks so much for contributing. And I've had a really good time discussing these stories. Um,
Me too.
yeah, and we've got a lot of. I think we've got new people on both streams too. So that's been
Yeah.
really cool to see new people join in. I like that.
Yes. It's a fun thing. This new endeavor we're starting.